I'm Mr. Fenstermacher, man of the sea. If you've never known a dog called Mister, you haven't met me.
After Mr. Fenstermacher's scary adventure getting buried in the tumble-down sand castle, his kids thought they would give him a special treat. Mr. Fenstermacher loves sand castles, and you know what else he likes? He likes boats, especially boats that are just his size. So the boys and girls took one of those thick pieces of paper you find in the middle of some magazines, and they folded it in origami fashion and made him this lovely boat. And Mr. Fenstermacher sat on the sand in his boat, and he pretended he was sailing the seven seas and having adventure and finding secret islands with beautiful flowers and treasure. Then who should come along and see Mr. Fenstermacher in his boat but Fane the Fiddler Crab and his friend the Turtle. And Fane the Fiddler Crab said, "Well, I think a boat should belong in the water." And the Turtle said, "I think the boat should belong in the water too." Now, remember, the Turtle and the Crab didn't know much about boats. Quite frankly, Mr. Fenstermacher didn't either. Boats that are made of wood are good in the water. Boats that are made of metal are good in the water. Boats that are made of plastic or rubber or fiberglass are great in the water. But paper boats, not so good. But they didn't know this. So the Turtle and Fane the Fiddler Crab and Mr. Fenstermacher sailed away into the water. And what do you think happened? Same thing that happens to all paper when it gets wet. It dissolves. And that old boat sank. And that was okay for the crab, Fane the Fiddler Crab, because crabs can just float and glide. That was okay for the turtle because turtles can float and glide. Not so good for rag dolls that are made of heavy wool fabric, because when that wool fabric gets wet, it's not harmed, but it gets heavy, and heavy wool sink down, down, down. What's going to happen? The turtle tried to save Mr. Fenstermacher. Fane the Fiddler Crab tried to save Mr. Fenstermacher just as he had once before. And poor Mr. Fenstermacher kept sinking and sinking and sinking. Who do you think came and helped him? From out of nowhere came his friend the whale. And he dove underwater, came up with Mr. Fenstermacher on his back, and dropped Mr. Fenstermacher on the sand. And Mr. Fenstermacher said, "Thanks, Miss Whale." And even though the whale didn't speak doll, and Mr. Fenstermacher didn't speak whale, they were very happy. But something was wrong. You know, whales need to be in the water, but they have to be on top of the water too, because they're mammals and they need to breathe air. And the whale kept sinking, and he was struggling to get up. What was wrong? Mr. Fenstermacher started moving his wibbly wobbly hands and his wibbly wobbly legs, saying, "Help, help, help, this whale needs help." And then Fane the Fiddler Crab and the turtle looked, and here was a rope, and here was a net caught on that poor whale. What do you think was going to happen?
Gather round his rocking chair, dear children, and find out if Mr. Fenstermacher and his friends can help the whale.